Okay, good evening, all. Wasn't sure to say good evening or what it is to you guys. By me now, thank the good Lord, we are hanging out after midnight here in the Holy Land. I'm coming live. This is live. I'd hold up a newspaper to prove it to you, but I don't have any, so I can't prove it to you. But just to see if everybody's with me, who those are going to be joining, I know that it's hard to do this when you have so many people, already 70 people, and close to, I think, like the Rabbi said, I see on Facebook Live, close to 1 million people so far, unbelievable, that are watching now on Facebook. At least they're watching something. I don't know if they're watching this, but there's a lot more than 1 million people. But anyway, on the bottom of your screen, you should have a thing called chat. By now, if you're not familiar how to use Zoom, I don't know what you've been doing, right? So you are welcome to go ahead and to use the chat and to throw in any questions. You can either do them specifically to me, in which case I will keep it private. If you do it in public, then you just made yourself public. All right, so just so I could see who actually knows how this works, if you do know how to use your chat, could you write in the chat? Just write 7, write the number 7, so I can make sure that we got what's going on. 7. All right, yeah, holy moly, you guys are fast. All right, so we got at least 4 people. Someone wrote 6. Very good, very proud of you. All right, so here we go. Let's get cracking. So we're gonna jump right in here, and now we're gonna start from the beginning. The topic. I don't know if you guys saw the topic or not, but this topic is quite elusive, if you ask me. It's an unfortunate idea that pretty much I find that every single person in the world, I don't care who you are or what you are in this day and age, it really doesn't make a difference. Everybody is looking for exactly the same thing. Man, woman, child, Jew, non-Jew, Jumanji, everybody is looking for exactly the same thing. And la pregunta es, ¿qué? ¿Qué? What is it that todas personas en el mundo, everybody wants? Nosotros queremos que. What do we want? What's that one thing we're looking for? You got the chat. Hit it. What are we looking for? Please do not say anything illegal. Please. All right. So we got, oh, nice. Good. I like it. Yeah. Excellent. Okay, yeah, interesting. Wow, thank you very much. Just a shout out to Shannon over there for that answer. Thank you for that. So there are a lot of answers that were said. We got the top ones. You guys can see yourselves, but we have happiness, pleasure, peace of mind, love, success, happiness, health, happiness, and or chocolate. This is someone who's heard me speak before. Success, and this is my favorite so far. That was from Shannon. Felicidad. That would be happiness, fellows who failed 9th grade Spanish. Okay. All right. Serenity, peace, wealth, meaning, health, clarity. Always shalom bayit. You must be married. Okay. So I did see the personal message someone wrote to me. I'll just say that I'll say right now before I forget, make sure that we just a quick shout out that the Lord should take care of the world. That's essentially what you asked. If you want to put that in public, what you specifically asked, you're welcome to, but I'm not getting political. I'm even Yovin. Okay, so here's the deal. The entire world is looking for, and all these are really good answers. And I'm going to say the one that I'm going to focus on here is, yes, we want clarity. Yes, we want meaning. Yes, we want all that stuff. But all that stuff leads to one thing: is we just want to be happy. That's what we want. We just want to be happy. Everybody just wants to be happy. And what's crazy is that everything you do in your life, everything you do is heading towards that goal. That's the goal. Your goal is to go ahead and to become happy. Everybody's looking for that goal. That's the ultimate concept. I just want to again remind everyone, for those who want to be in the raffle, I guess there's only 7 of you or 10 of you now. It's amazing because you guys have very good odds. So let me say it differently. Whoever's camera is off, keep it off in order to up the odds for the people whose cameras are on. All right, so here we go. So we have is that everybody wants this. Everybody wants to be happy, but unfortunately, and it's funny to say that you have yes, we want to be healthy. It's true, we want to be healthy, but why do you want to be healthy? Who cares? So don't be healthy, because it makes you happy. Every step you take and every move you make, not everyone gets that, but the rabbi does. Everything that we're doing in our life, it's heading towards being happy. Now, you know those people out there that are miserable? You know, you have people out there that are miserable and like their whole life is about being miserable. Guess what? That's their joy. They love being miserable. This happened to one of my kids recently. They were upset at me. I said, "Do you want to be upset? Like I see you're upset. Do you want to be?" They go, "Yeah." I said, "Well, you know what? I am so happy for you that you want to be upset. You know what? And you're getting this opportunity. Good for you." Everybody looking for this idea just to be happy. Now people try to disprove it. Oh yeah, yeah. Anything you're doing, you're heading towards that goal. You're trying to get away from something which is going to cause you pain and get towards something that's going to make you happy. The unfortunate reality, though, is that people end up making a very, very big mistake. Now, very big mistake. Now, I do want to point out something, because a bunch of people keep seeing the idea of health and health and health and health and health, and I'm not against the idea of health. I mean, health is a great thing, but I think it's overrated. What? Are you crazy? The answer is maybe yes, but it's not for tonight's discussion. What I'm pointing out is that what I mean by it's overrated is it becomes so much of a focus. It becomes so much of a focus of, they say in Hebrew, a lot of times people say, Achi chashuv, briut. The most important thing is that we have health. My friends, that's not true. That's not the most important thing. That's not the most important thing. If you had a choice between health and happiness, if you had to pick one, I want both. All right, I got you. Okay, very good. But if you had to choose one, I don't want to choose one, so not you. But if you had to choose one, which would you choose? You'll be healthy but miserable, or not healthy but happy? I'm going to answer it for you. You're going to answer whatever you're going to answer. You'll think about it and we'll come to the same answer. You want happiness above health, above it. It's a greater goal. We want that so much more. It's the craziest thing. The problem is that we end up, unfortunately, confusing ideas about how to get there. Everybody wants to be happy, but sometimes we confuse how to get to that state of happiness. The crazy thing in life is that we kind of go backwards. We go backwards. Who generally are the happiest people in the world? Who are the happiest people in the world? Once again, make sure to leave your cameras on. We'll be doing a $50 Amazon gift card at the end for everyone who leaves your cameras on. Brought to you by Emmet. Okay, so now, understand, my friends, who here, you stop and think, who are the happiest people in the world? Oh, yes, that's correct. The happiest people in the world are kids. Kids are the happiest. Now, there's always someone in the crowd that goes, "I was the miserable child." I go, "Okay, I'm so sorry for you. Forgive me, but I charge extra for therapy." I'm just pointing out that the happiest people in this world are kids. Kids are so happy. Kids are so happy. I will just point out, before I forget, I have to make sure that this lecture, this talk is dedicated to the merit of Rafael Chai Ben Sarah, the neshama should have an aliyah. Amen. Okay, so now understand this concept that when kids, they're just happy. They're just happy. They enjoy themselves, and you know what they have? Nothing. They have nothing. Yet they have everything. What? I thought you said nothing. The answer is, we get so caught up when we're trying to get this concept called happiness that we start focusing and we start to think money. It's all about cash. You understand? My friends, I think it was quoted a lot of times on the radio. It's not about the money. It's not what it is. You understand? Everyone could look to the left. You could all look to the right. And that's not what it is. You understand? There's so much more than just that. All right. So here's the deal. I'm going to make an assumption here. And you know what? I'll throw it out there. Who here does not want to be happy? Please write in the comments, in the chat, say me. If you do not want to be happy, I can almost guarantee you we're going to have an answer, and it's going to be from a guy, because all the girls would never say that in public. It's always a guy who's trying to be funny. Okay, nobody. All right. So all of you want to be happy, right? Every single person here wants to be happy. That's amazing. All right. So then my question for you is as follows. Can anyone here please define for me, what does it mean? What's happiness? Go. And make it private. Make it private. Make it private. Make it private. Okay, Tatiana, you're off the hook because I said it. You were too quick, but you can't use another word. What's happening? Joy. Say, come on, come on. Okay, I got one answer so far. Two. All right, good. Oh, nice, nice. Oh, these are great answers. Oh my goodness. You know what the best thing about these type of classes are? As a speaker, I don't really have to be prepared at all. I can ask a question, say, message me privately, and then give those answers and say, and this is what I wanted to share with you. That's the best part. But of course, I wouldn't do that. Okay, so let's see what we got over here. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Nice. Nice. Yes. Oh, Shannon, you were out of control. Okay, so this is very good. All right, so let's listen up, peeps. Here's the crazy thing. I'm going to give one answer if I don't know if you allow me to say your name because you did do it privately, but what up, D? D gave an answer which is very interesting. I heard from a great rabbi. He said that most people are searching for this country called happiness. And little do they know that it's a state of mind. Most people are looking for this country called happiness. It's not a country, it's a state of mind. You understand? Everything in our life, by the way, it's not just happiness, but everything, the way that we function is up in here, up in here. Sometimes we're going to lose our mind, but it's all up over here. It's the way in which we go and what we're focusing on. That ultimately is the idea of happiness. Now, a bunch of people pulled a move. A lot of them pulled a move, and you guys tried to pull a move on me by whipping out that, you whipped out a Mishnah, and then some of you even nay-nayed, but you whipped out this Mishnah in Pirkei Avos. There's a Mishnah in Pirkei Avos that says, Ezehu Ashir Hasamech Bechelko. But that didn't answer my question. I didn't ask who is Ashir with an I meaning rich, which is a fascinating discussion to be had of here. You can't say who is happy, someone who's happy. You understand? It doesn't make any sense. Again, so when I ask, define happiness, then what is it? What's happiness? What's happiness? So we got a lot of different answers here. I'm going to share with you some of the answers. So one of them is being content with what you have. Okay, that's the Mishnah. We are focusing on what you have and not what you don't have. Sounds like the Mishnah. Fulfilling your, okay, good. That one is actually too close to comfort because I'm going to say that, so I'm going to hold off on that. Happy with what you have. That's the Mishnah. Satisfaction with your life. Well, yeah, that's the Mishnah. Okay, that one's good. That's now you get another, someone else tapped in over here. Fulfill. Oh, yeah. Some of you getting this big time over here. All right, so listen up. Listen carefully. Happiness is a feeling. How's that? Good? Happiness is a feeling. So what's happiness? Happiness is a feeling. Oh, thank you so much. That was great. It's a feeling. Yeah, but it's more than that. So is anger, right? So is jealousy. But what kind of feeling is it? What's happiness? Happiness is a feeling. And I'm gonna give you, for those who don't have this book, I recommend getting it. I don't make any money off this yet. There's a book written by Rabbi Dr. Akiva Tatz called The Thinking Jewish Teenager's Guide to Life. I know what you're thinking. That's an oxymoron. A Jewish thinking teenager. So they changed it to life. But anyway, the point is, he writes in a chapter called, you guessed it, happiness. A great line. A great line. And his line is as follows. He's defining it. Now, I actually pinned him and cornered him in an area and asked him, what did he mean by happiness? Because in Hebrew, there's a lot of words. Gila, Rina, Ditza, Chedva, Ava, Achla, Shalom, if anyone ever been to a wedding, right? So it's like, but all right, fine. When I asked him what he meant, he said, happiness, and he walked away. I was like, that was so deep. Anyway, he said the following idea. What is happiness? Happiness is a feeling. It's an emotion that one gets when they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. I want you to think about this for a second. Think about the moments and times in your life when you've really been happy. Now, some people, and I say this I'm not going to be, this is not, I'm not being facetious now. I don't know people's personal lives over here. There are some people that have a hard time being able to think at a time when they were happy, but that requires a lot more time to sit down specifically with you and work that out. But don't confuse happiness and pleasure. Please don't confuse happiness and pleasure. These are two separate things. A person can be having pleasure without being happy, right? We call that a guilty pleasure. A guilty pleasure, right? I'm having pleasure. There's a physical reaction of enjoyment, but I'm not happy. I can actually be miserable and be feeling pleasure at the same time. Can anyone here give an example? Can anyone here give an example of a guilt of something where it feels good? You can have pleasure, but you're miserable. You can do it public or private. Just keep it kosher, please. That's all I ask. Please keep it kosher. No, I said keep it kosher. Okay, good. Right. So somebody gave an interesting answer. Um, oh wow, interesting. So I'll tell you something. Yeah, I was actually thinking like Orly just said, like eating your fifth slice of chocolate cake, and that's where basically there may be a physical feeling, but you know what? I don't know if that's true. Actually, I actually feel gross after I have that. I don't know if there's physical pleasure anymore. It's kind of like a psychological thing where you just keep going with it, even though you don't enjoy it. I like that Tatiana said vodka because your name sounds Russian. I don't know if you are. I'm just going to point out that you sound Russian and you just said vodka. That's anyway. Um, did you mean water? Is that the same thing by you guys? Anyway, so here's the deal. I was going to say a person I once asked this to a class. I said, give me an example of a guilty pleasure. So some guy goes, he raises his hand. I go, yeah. He goes, cocaine. I was like, whoa, that went, yo, bro. I was thinking about ice cream when you're on a diet, right? That's what I was thinking. But cool. Do your thing. Do your thing. The answer is that it tastes good. The ice cream feels good, tastes good, smells good. Yeah. However, there's no happiness involved. Every lick and every like twirl is like it feels good, but every time you're like, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this. Oh yes, right. That's that, my friend. That's called the guilty pleasure. So don't confuse pleasure and happiness. Happiness is when things are in sync. When things are in sync, and you're doing what you're meant to be doing, and you're on par. That's amazing. Stop and think about it, right? You have a person who goes there, they graduate college, they graduate high school. A lot of people are happy. Why? Because they, for some reason, have given meaning to the idea of high school or college. They gave meaning to it. They feel like it's meaningful. And therefore, they going and finishing it, that feels good. Now, I'm going to put it in two words. It's what we call ma. What you talking about happiness? You got to get my happiness, M-A, meaningful accomplishment. You see, you can accomplish something, but there are many accomplishments that are simply not meaningful and therefore will not bring you happiness or joy. Example, you can finish a 4-piece puzzle you have just accomplished. However, you don't feel happy because it's not meaningful. What happens if that 4-piece puzzle wins you the lottery? Now you feel happy because you've now given meaning to that accomplishment. But that's because you consider money to be meaningful accomplishment. What if you don't find money to be meaningful accomplishment? Then you can get it, but you're going to be miserable. As everybody knows, does money buy happiness? The answer is absolutely. Who says it doesn't? Those who don't have it. Just kidding. Does money buy happiness? Absolutely not. Money actually, not at all. Now, I don't mean that people that have money can't be happy. And it can take away a lot of things that make you unhappy, but it will not buy you happiness. This is a super important thing to understand. Money can take away things that make you unhappy, but it can never make you happy. The question is, what do you do with that money? Okay, so you donate it. Guess what? You could do that right now. You could do that right now. proportionate to what you have and you giving. You could donate money, you could donate your time. What's amazing is that, well, I don't understand. If money doesn't buy happiness, then why is everybody chasing after it? The answer is very simple, because 95% of the money of the world is found in 5% of the hands. Very few people ever actually reach a goal of becoming rich, whatever that means. So, since very few people ever get there, they don't understand at the end of the day that they're actually not going to be happy by it. Those who get there, they then get there and then they go, huh? How come I'm not happy? The answer is because they made a mistake. They didn't realize that happiness is not a country you go to or you get to, you find. It's a state of mind, which means you can be happy anywhere, anytime, assuming you understand the greater picture of what's happening and you are living in sync in a way that you're supposed to be living your life. Now, I don't know your ages. I don't know how old you are. I could judge, but I actually have no idea. I have no clue what the average is. I don't know how people are. I don't know what's going down here, but I could tell you one thing. I could tell you that what's pretty sad is that, unfortunately, many, many, many of us are not even close to living up to what we're meant to be doing. Now, because we're so busy with school and with work and with running and with all the stuff we don't have time to stop and realize that we're miserable. But those who do realize they're miserable, they end up realizing because they're not actually accomplishing what they find meaningful. And generally, it's because they didn't really invest enough time to find out what is meaning. ¿Qué es el punto, Shannon? ¿Por qué nosotros aquí en el mundo? What are we trying to accomplish over here? What's the goal? What's the end game? Where are we headed towards? Can I give a huge shout out to EM? You know who you are. I don't want to say you, but you know who you are, EM. Yes, a huge shout out. Anyway, so if we don't know what it is, what our goals are, if we don't even understand, then of course we're not going to feel accomplished, but we're not going to notice because we're so busy. And we're going to be working and working and working until one day something is going to stop us. And when something's going to stop us, all of a sudden, muchísimo, Jacob, muchísimo, gracias. Mi corazón. Understand that we're so busy, but if you stop for a moment and thought about it, wow, we realize you're miserable. Now, here's the deal. So how does one figure out what they're supposed to be doing in their life in order to accomplish this elusive goal called happiness? The answer is there are two different types of happiness. There's two goals of what we're trying to do. Whoa, Shannon, you said private. Are you from Costa Rica? You just pulled that was a Costa Rican reference you just pulled out there. You know that's a Costa Rican reference, though, right? Yeah, you know that. Pura vida, pura vida. Awesome. Anyway, everybody, there's two different goals. There's a national mission and a national goal that we're all trying to accomplish. And then every one of us has an individual goal, an individual mission what we're trying to accomplish. Jasmine, you understand what I mean? This is the real deal. Dina, you with me? Yoni, iPhone. You understand? This ain't no games. We got ourselves a general and we got ourselves a specific. The general mission is what's known as ultimate truth. Somebody who lives with truth. When you live with truth, happiness is a feeling that one gets when they are tapped in, when they're plugged in, meaningful accomplishments. We got to figure out what's called meaning. What is truth? And then one starts attaching to it. Life starts becoming incredible. Life really starts becoming incredible. So let's start with the first one. The first one is a little easier. It's more general. It's more vague. We have something called the Holy Bible. That is truth, or some would even call it emet. What? That's crazy. It's truth. To be able to find and attach to the concept of truth of the Torah itself. Now, there's a lot of people out there that say, you know what? I follow the Torah and I don't feel so happy doing it. I've done mitzvos and I don't get so much joy out of doing it. So I thought you said that if I'm attaching myself, I'm doing truth. How come I'm not feeling an immense joy when I'm doing it? All right, people, you got the chat. Why? Why is it you could have a person that's keeping the Torah, that's doing it, that's living with it, but they're not feeling happy? According to what I said, you tap into reality, do what you're supposed to be doing, you're gonna feel felicidad. Hang on, let's see what we got. Disconnected. Good. I'm saying because you said it to everyone. We got the kind of we're disconnected emotionally. You do it without even letting yourself feel it. Somebody said they have a relationship with Hashem. Good. Someone says they don't know why they're doing it. We got someone says they don't value it. Feels like an obligation. They don't see the meaning in it. Don't believe it is real or meaningful. Just doing the otions. Doing the otions. Motions. I got it. And I was like trying to figure out, like, I know it's a word, one word, two, it's a movie. And then just going through the motions. Now I'm gonna go with that one as a private message somebody wrote, but I think that that's one of the deepest ones. It's true. We're not thinking about it. We don't have kavana. We're not whatever. I think also sometimes it's like, do we really, truly, deeply, madly, honestly tap into the fact that this is truth? And are we connecting with the fact that this is truth? If someone would stop and actually connect with the fact it's true, and you'd be paying attention to that concept, you'd be feeling a whole different way than you feel right now. There was this question actually came a couple of years back. A young lady was in one of my classes. This is before Corona, antes la Corona. And or is it El Carona? That I don't know. That I don't know. You got to help me out with that one, Shannon. I don't know if it's La Carona, El Carona, or it's La El Carona, or El La Carona. Okay, so we're gonna say you said El Carona virus. So anyway, this is antes, before the Corona. Because now it's Corona time. But before Corona, there was a young lady who came into my class and she said to me, when my parents asked me to do the dishes, I don't feel so happy. I don't feel happy, but I'm doing kibbut avim. And if I'm doing kibbut avim and it's a mitzvah, so how come I'm not feeling happy if I'm doing a mitzvah of kibbut avim? What's the answer? Think about it. Imaginar por un segundo. Just imagine for a moment. The Lord, pray be in name, like mundo, the Ribono Shel Olam, Hashem himself, bechvodo va'atzmo, came down and asked you to do something. God came and spoke with you. And it's true. You understand? You got it. It's true. Nora, you know what I mean? If God actually came to you, now it's like, what? Like he knows I'm here? Yeah, God knows you're here. And God came to you and asked you to do something. Would you be nervous, excited, interested, pro, con? Nora, what do you got? The Lord asks you, would you feel honored that the Lord's coming to you? God's coming to you? What do you say? Honored, not honored? You're undecided. Okay, you feel honored, right? Dina would also feel honored. That's amazing. You feel very honored. What an honor and a privilege that God's asking me. So what if you then thought for a second, God says to you, I'd like you to please wash the dishes. You're like, is that really God? I'm not really. Are you sure? Right? Okay, maybe then we get to that little thing. But if you really understood that God's asking you to do something, you'd be thrilled to do it for him. The problem is that we're not attaching these things and putting these things together. We're not attaching and putting these things together. Right? You'd be a little nervous because of the pressure, but at the same time, an honor and a privilege, I'm going to go and try to do what I can do. Understand, my friends? Torah and mitzvos is God asking us to do certain things. What an honor that we have the ability of doing it. What an honor that we're chosen out of how many people in the world to be able to go ahead and carry on such a positive, amazing thing. That's pretty amazing. Okay, good. So number one is the Torah itself. If somebody follows the Torah, which is truth, and you think about it, it's amazing. I was learning today the Mishnah Berurah. Mishnah Berurah is I don't know everybody's background over here. Mishnah Berurah is a commentary in the Shulchan Aruch, in the book of Jewish law. And the Chafetz Chaim wrote the Mishnah Berurah, and he basically talks about the different prayers that we have in the morning, and certain people say Akedas Yitzchak, and some people say the Aseres Adibros and the different Karbonos. Okay, if you're Sephardi, you know what I'm talking about. If you're Ashkenaz, you like say the who, the what. Anyway, point is that we have certain prayers that we had, and it says, why, what's the point? And he goes in, he explains each one. It's for us to be able to think about Har Sinai and to remember that we were about Mount Sinai and how God gave us the Torah and to connect with that. That's huge. Every day is an opportunity to be able to refocus and understand what we're doing here. Ultimately, that's the national mission, and that's every individual. But then we have an individual goal. Number one is a national mission, then an individual goal. If we attach ourselves to the national mission, we're going to feel an incredible, incredible joy, a sense of happiness, of serenity, of contentment, of fulfillment. If we're paying attention to what we're doing. Number one, we know that it's true. Number two, we do it. Number three, we pay attention while we're doing it. Okay, that for those who are familiar with other classes I've given is in a nutshell. I didn't even notice I did that, but that's ka for those who know what I just said. Right? It's you know what's going on, you're acting upon that which you know, and you're paying attention to it. Ka is knowledge, action, awareness. KAA. You know, you're acting, and you're paying attention. For those who get the acting doesn't mean you're an actor. Acting means you're acting upon that which you know is true. You're living with it. Okay, that's number one. What about individual? Every individual has a mission. He's got a mission if you choose to accept it. And if not, you come back as a frog. Anyway, the point is that every one of us has an individual mission of what it is that we've got to accomplish. So how does I figure it out? How am I supposed to know what my mission is? How am I supposed to know? And the answer is, unfortunately, we're all out of time. Okay, I'll tell you the answer of how we're supposed to know what we are supposed to be accomplishing and what we're supposed to be doing individually. And this, my friends, is where the work comes in. This is where the work comes in. That's something which, to quote one of my Talmidim, who absolutely hates when speakers do this, so I'm going to do it, but then I'm going to retract and actually help you. You know when the speaker goes, listen, to know what you're supposed to do, I can't tell you. Everyone has to figure that out for themselves. You know when you walk out of a talk like that and you're like, thank you for nothing. Like you didn't help me at all. All you did is said the most general concept of like, you have to work that out for yourself. Hashem loves you. Hatzlacha. And I go, what shayla? What did you say? What was the point of the talk? So the answer of how are you supposed to know? The answer really still is true. You have to figure it out, but I'm going to tell you how you can figure it out. I'm going to tell you how you can figure it out. You see, understand the fact that every one of us, we have a neshama, we have a soul. I mean, some people out there have no soul, but okay, we got souls, right? We got souls. I mean, some people behave in ways which are totally inappropriate, and you think like they don't have a soul. It's like, imagine you're playing tennis somewhere and someone comes on the tennis court and just takes it from you. That's like just not right. You know what I mean? It's like they have no soul. Let YMM know about that story there. Anyway, the point is that just to take a step back and understand that we all have a soul. How can we tap into our mission? How can we tap in and get down and know what's going on? Caroline, how? How is it possible? Busted. How is it possible? How does one try to figure out like what is the ultimate what I'm trying to do? But you'll be in the raffle, don't worry. How does one, I'll put in a good word for you. How does one know? Help her win. How does one know what they're supposed to do? The answer is your soul is connected to particular ideas. Yeah, me too. Okay. Tell them I'll call them later. Your soul is connected towards, you get drawn towards things. There are things you get drawn towards. Some people like music. Some people like art. Some people like sports. Some people like people. Some people don't like people. You've got to figure out, and it's not something which is like, I have to go searching far and wide to figure out what it is. You want to hear the most amazing idea? It's not the most amazing, but it's an amazing one. You know, people say that, the most amazing idea, and then they give a shir the next week saying that also. Well, which one is it? Answer is, depends what day it is. Listen to the most amazing idea of the day. You know, Avraham Avinu in this week's Torah portion, don't fall asleep, it's interesting. In this week's Torah portion, Avraham Avinu, Abraham finally meets the Lord. God appears to him. 75 years old. He's 75 years old. After 75 years of trying to find God, God appears to Avraham and he speaks to him. And what's the first thing he says to him? Anybody put in the chat, what's the first thing he says to him? Someone just wrote, hola. Good. The answer is, and many of you got it, the answer is, he says, lech lecha. You know what lech lecha means? You know what it means? After 75 years of trying to find God, God goes and turns to him and says, now go find yourself. Whoa, that's the first thing he says to him. Lech means go, lecha, go to you. What are you trying to find me? By looking externally, go to you. You got to find yourself, which means we've got to dig. Look into yourself and try to understand. Now, this is a muscle which I've used many a time. And I don't remember, again, forgive me. I'm going to say it in the name of Rabbi Tatz because I think I heard it from him. It's possible I didn't. And if I didn't, then I'll take full credit. Let's move on. So he gave the following example. Okay, try to imagine that I were to drop you off at a work site. I drop you off at a work site. And let's say you're from Ukraine. You know what I mean? Some of you know what I'm talking about. Let's say you find yourself on some Ukrainian work site. And someone says, I'm going to pick you up in 5 hours. You've never done construction in your vida. Never in your life. You've never done construction. You don't even know where to start. And they go and they leave you by a building that's like semi-finished in all different areas. There's a lot to do. There's plumbing, there's electricity, there's landscaping, there's mason work, there's more plumbing. I don't know. There's stuff to do. You understand? There's a lot you've got to do. So what do? They drop you off and they say, I'll be back in a bunch of hours. What do? So the answer is, Google. Correct. Let's say you don't have Google. What do? What do you do? What do you work on? Bing. Okay, that's Bing. Who in the world knows what Bing is? That is very impressive. Yeah, that's a good answer. Someone just said, ask someone with experience, but let's say there's no one there. What do you do? So I'm going to help you out now. Tell you, let me tell you. Good. Nothing is probably the correct answer. You just look at it, don't even know, or just try to figure it out. Just go and try, right? Just try a bunch of stuff. But what happens if I told you now I'm going to drop you off in this work site, and I'm not leaving you with nothing. I leave you with the toolbox. And I say, I'll be back in a bunch of hours, and I drive away. What is the very first thing you should do? Very good. First thing. Oh, nice. Okay, it was written privately, but the first thing someone said is daven. Very good. Excellent. Other people said, like Yonah Hanavi, go to sleep, pray. Still nothing to do. I don't do construction. The answer is the first thing you do is you open up the toolbox. Look inside, see what's in there. What tools do you have in the toolbox? That's right. See, what you do is you got to see what tools do you have. Take a look inside. What do you have in the toolbox? If you see that there are tools that are guiding you towards electricity, then it's probably saying you're not supposed to be a plumber. I know that's confusing, but you look inside and see, what do you have? What are you drawn towards? What do you feel the most complete? I have, a cousin who worked somewhere and got paid a significant amount of money, ended up leaving that place for some place that paid half the amount. but was so much happier because it tapped into their neshama. It was what they always wanted to do. It was what they had skills for and what they were headed towards and what they really were all about. So, my friends, now we take a look, understand the concept ultimately of what's happiness. Happiness is a feeling that one gets. It's an outcome. It's a totsa'ah. It's an outgrowth of meaningful accomplishment. The question is, what's called meaningful accomplishment? We have a mass national and an individual. The mass national is the concept, like we said, and that is everyone is following something on the Torah itself. And then we have the individuals, which is what they have over here. Now, somebody just pointed out something very important, and they said it to everyone, so I'll say it. And here we go. That's assuming you can clearly identify what the tool is to be used for. I might like a few different things, but I don't know what I'm meant to use them for. So now there were two comments that were made within that. Number one is what's the tool used for? The other one is ideas that I feel drawn towards. So the answer was we have twofold. Number one is you're right. And that's where we have to make sure that we are finding the right people to get good advice from, like the Mishnah says. Aseh l'charav, like the Mesil Shisharim says. Find the great sages that have been through the maze called life and ask advice, ask for help. That's the goal, is to guide and to lead, to be able to help us. Go to people that have had experience, speak things out, to get clarity on these type of ideas. And there could be multiple concepts that can merge into one. That, my friends, is the idea of ultimately what we're talking about over here. Okay, so listen carefully. I don't want to keep people too long. I know we got to get some sort of game show coming up or something like that. So what I'm going to do right now is a quick recap of everything we did, end off opening it up, if it's okay with the rabbi, to any questions, comments, stories, jokes, attacks for a minute or two, and then we'll open up, I guess, to some raffle or game show or something like that. Here we go. Let's rip it. So in the beginning, we started off in the beginning. What is it every single person in the world is looking for? Is to make it better, man, woman, child, both? 2020, everyone's looking for the same concept. That's called felicidad. Everybody wants to have happiness. How come we have so few people happy? Because everyone's looking for that country called happiness. They don't know it's a state of mind. It's up in here, up in here. Every step you do, every move you make, the ultimate idea is what? In order to be able to get this concept of happiness, we live everyone's going towards. So how come at the end of the day, when it comes to understanding of the person's life, what are we trying to, how does a person get to these kinds of, in the first place, what is it all about? So we said, so what is it? How do you define it? Define your terms. What's happiness? Happiness is a feeling that one gets when they're tapping in and they're connecting. What to what? Meaningful accomplishment. So understand, what is it about money? It's not about the money. Most people don't get it, therefore they chase after it. Those that get it run away from it. Those who don't, whatever. Money can help do what? They can get a person in a state where it can take away a lot of things that make them unhappy, but it will never actually make them happy themselves. It's what you could do with the money. In which case, if you could do something with the money, do something with your life. And give yourself, give of your time, give of your energy, give of your money also if you can, if that's what you want to be doing, proportionate to what you're able to do. But at the same time, go ahead and get your opportunity. This is the thing. David, I'm a little insulted that he said 2 times. I think it's about 4 times. Anyways, a little bit before the comes instead of national mission, individual national mission called the Torah Kadosha. Well, I do keep it of aim. I don't feel anything. It's just because you don't believe it or you weren't paying attention. Call. And instead of kind of over here is the idea of what? Knowledge, action, awareness. I'm not reading the chat. I'm only watching things that are popping up. That's why I'm seeing what's going on over here. I'm not looking at the back chat that we have over here because it's going to confuse me too much. So I'm just seeing what's coming up. No, I'm not Sephardi. Okay, so we got a little further. Comes in. What happens? A person goes to national mission. That's the Torah itself. You're going to figure the truth of that. And then we are. I'm not going to tell you what it is. You have to find out for yourself. I'm not going to do that. No, I'm not. Every individual person has something they're supposed to be doing. How do I know what it is? You just got to check. Everybody's got a toolbox. Crack open that toolbox. Start looking inside, seeing what you're connected to, see what's going on over there. Rivka, tell them I'll call them back after. Start to see what it is that a person is trying to go ahead. What is it that you're drawn towards? And what is it that you're trying to get? Where's the key, you ask? Oh, gosh. Donde está la llave? Listen, you know where the key is? Up in here, says the Lord. You found me, and I'll lech lecha. Go to yourself, which means you just got to sit down and actually work it. You got to work it. You got to work it. And you know what? You may have ups and downs at the end of the day. Sometimes it can be multiple things and it's hard to know what's going down. Therefore, ask advice. You got great people. Kvod Harav, Morenu Verabenu Harav Kigel is here to help you grow. He's there as an aid, as a guide. You have an organization, Emet, that's there to teach you truth, to show you a way. This is unbelievable how many people are found on a random 6 o'clock on a Thursday. Like, it's unbelievable. Here you are going to grow and going to learn. Take advantage of these opportunities to be able to open up that box and hopefully, with the help of the Lord, to win a $50 gift card. Any questions, comments, stories, jokes, attacks, please write them down. We got one question that just came in. Hold on one second. Here we go. I can't ask that question because it's going to confuse people. I'm just going to I'm going to answer your question personally. The answer is that is a national mission, but it might be your particular that I can't answer. However, make sure that you also have time for yourself, that you're able to connect with something which you feel connected with. Now, what that means is ultimately is that if you feel that that's enough for you and that's good for you, then fantastic. But if you're feeling lacking, then maybe there's something else going on. Okay, that's number one. That's number one. 0 to 100 real quick. Shout out. I'm going to give a shout out to Drake. I guess he's Jewish. All right, good. What else? Any other questions that we have? How does so I'm going to read the question and hopefully understand it. How does this realistically manifest in a business? Simply feeling of happy, simply feeling happiness. Listen, don't confuse business with your mission in life. They might come together. They don't have to come together. They might come together. They don't have to. Sometimes a person is stuck in a way that they need to be involved in some sort of business in order to be able to sustain themselves, in order to live. You get it? Example, we have to eat food. We have to use the bathroom. We have to sleep. These are all tools which help us live our lives. Business can be one of those tools as well. In order to go ahead, absolutely will send regards, Be'ezer Hashem. The business is a concept that can be used as a tool. But don't think that it has to be your whole purpose. That's what the world has messed us up, to think that life is about business and success. Call was knowledge, action, awareness. Look it up online. I have a class, Gavriel, Friedman, KAA, and you'll see the whole class. It's very worthwhile, and for everyone who watches it, I make money. That's not true at all, because I think only like 12 people. It would be like millions, maybe. But anyway, so back to the thing is like this. The ideal thing is to try to find a business that taps into the idea of what you are and who you are. But if you're not able to do that, then okay, it's a means to an end that you have to do. It's a means to an end that a person has to do. So that's the answer to that. And the person goes ahead and then finds what they really want to be involved with in life. That's going to start opening them up. Okay, what's call? I said, how does it help us attain happiness? Again, knowledge, action, awareness, because someone has knowledge about what they're supposed to be doing. They act upon that which they're supposed to be doing, and they're paying attention while they're doing that. That unlocks the key, which hits them to a great point. Someone give a shout out to my wife. Sure, you got it. Call the same question. I know money doesn't buy happiness, because otherwise we wouldn't find so many miserable rich people. What about the people who can't afford things that help bring happiness, like having money to buy a comfortable pillow or Ferrari? That was the best contrast ever. Okay, so there's a very good point that you make. I'm glad you brought this to my attention, because I also suffer in that same issue of not having a Ferrari. Hi, you see, the answer is, at the end of the day, if it's a state of mind, if it's a state of mind, then it doesn't matter what is thrown at us in life, and we have the opportunity to really tap into the state. And by the way, just a little shout out to myself, ravgav.com. You can check out a whole course on that, on mind over matter, of how to tap into that concept. It does cost money. I'm throwing that out there right now. But that's that. Then we got someone said, awesome. Yeah, okay, good. I'm going to answer that in a second. What if you like a lot of things? How do you know what you're actually meant to do? A lot of times you could find a way to put them together. I'll give you like my own personal idea. I love to teach. I love music. I enjoy having a good time. I like concepts. What do? I put it all together. Just like throw it in there. You know what I'm saying? I also like sports. In case I'm not so good, stop making fun of me. But at the same time, it doesn't mean I'm going to do as my business, because I can't, although I'd love to. But at the end of the day, come to realize the fact that, hey, I might enjoy certain things as an outlet, as a what may be at the same thing, but be able to go connect these things to do. I'm going to tell you, my friends, just to take one thing. That's very funny, S. That's very funny. Very funny. I did not say that, but maybe I did. I'm not saying I did, but maybe I did. All right. So here's the one idea. One idea that I would like to share with all y'all is to stop and think for a moment before we get into specifics and who am I and what's my life. Understand happiness is meaningful accomplishment. Maybe it's worthwhile to sit down and try to think through what you feel is meaningful in this world. Try to get down to see what is meaningful in this world and then ask yourself, are you heading in the direction of at least what you think is meaningful? I think that can make a tremendous change in our lives. And then with that, my friends, I'm going to turn it over to my co-host, the one that makes this thing happen, the one and only. And the only reason I know you're a co-host is because it says co-host next to you. You know what? There's a bunch of you. So it's not the one and only, the multiple of Viva, Esther and Sarah. But if I can give a shout out to Large Emmet Zoom. I'm not making a fat joke. That's what it says in your name. Large Emmet Zoom, or whoever wants to take
out
it.
There on both of them.
Two screens on the same time.
It is now the ball's in your court. I want to thank everybody for coming. And it was a tremendous pleasure. And thank you for having me. And don't go anywhere because things are about to get better. Just wait right there. But wait, there's more. So just stay seated and we're gonna hit a bunch of stuff. And actually this is good timing because my computer just said low battery. Can I plug it in? I could. Am I going to? Maybe. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Rabbi.
You're welcome. I'm just responding to the comments here.
Rabbi, we're on fire.
Oh, thank you so much. This rabbi's on fire. Unbelievable.
Yeah, on Facebook, by the way, is enjoying it so much that we apparently reached to the other side of our cousins in Israel. On the other side of Israel, it seems like this lecture got so famous that I'm getting the other side of Israel joining in on our lecture on Facebook. Good stuff.
Are you serious?
Got lots of interesting comments on my Facebook Live.
So I'd like to make a shout out, please, to Jamal and Wakim and Haman and Khantoni and Kafhalak, Inshallah bikun kwayas and Afwan, and we'll see. Thank you.
Because I kind of think I might have blocked them, but thank you for that.
There goes that.
Amazing. Yeah. For all of you that are still on, please make sure to stay on because we have the raffle, we have the game. The game is going to be awesome. Rabbi, amazed, like literally amazed. Can we have you again? We'd love to have you again.
Blina there with the big B. We have to work on the hour, but yeah.
Yeah. What time is it there right now?
It's early, relative. It's 1:07. I have to go learn. No, I got to do Tikkun Chatzos and then learn Zohar. I have to go to the mikvah and read a Sefer Torah. I have a lot to do,
Oh, you're so busy.
Yeah, I'm a holy guy. What can I tell you?
Thank you so much. Rabbi Kigel, are you here?
Yeah, just a shout out to Eddie also. Just to
let me actually make Rabbi Kigel an admin so he could.
Who's Eddie? Okay. Wow, Rav Gav, that was so amazing. And, I'm really going to be happier now that I've heard you speak. So thank you so much. We really hope to be graced with your presence sometime in the near future. We really want to see you live in Israel. If you could ask the government to let us in, it would be wonderful.
Yeah, I have a call with Bibi later, so yeah.
All right, amazing. And so thank you so much. Have the best Shabbos ever. We're all decided to take on Shabbos 10 minutes early, for no political reasons, but just in case. We're going to take on Shabbos 10 minutes early this week. And with Hashem's help.
All right, very good. Okay, you should be blessed. I'm bouncing.
Thank you. Bye.